Good evening. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Fall River School Committee for Wednesday, November 13, 2019. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Agia?
Here.
Mr. Coogan? Mr. Costa?
Here.
Mr. Hetzler? Mr. Corey?
Here.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Carell.
Thank you. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20E, pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Would you please join me in a salute to our flag?
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No one has signed up for citizens' input this evening. There are no items other than a request for executive session. I'd ask Attorney Assad to state the reasons for this evening's request.
Would be Mass General Laws, Chapter 38, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy regarding potential litigation relative to an acting mayor's authority with respect to the school committee, as the chair has determined that an open session may have a detrimental impact on the litigating position of the committee. We would reconvene. There may or may not be statements at that time.
Thank you, Attorney Assad. Is there a motion for executive session?
So moved.
Made by Mr. Hetzler, seconded by Mr. Agia. With a question, Mr. Agia?
Just a question on if we need to reconvene. Can we just say that we will not be reconvening? Is that an option?
What did you say? I didn't hear.
Attorney Assad, Mr. Agia has asked, do we need to reconvene, or can we just say we're not going to reconvene?
You do not have to reconvene.
I'm sorry?
You do not have to reconvene. It's
So
been our
I
practice.
make an amendment that we are not going to reconvene.
I'm sorry?
I want to amend the motion to go in to just say that we will not be reconvening tonight.
Okay. Mr. Agia makes a motion to amend the motion for executive session to include that we will not reconvene after executive session. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Hetzler. Roll call. On the motion. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Martins.
What is the purpose of not wanting to revert back to open session and then adjourn?
That's a great question, Mr. Martins, and so I'll ask Mr. Aguiar. Mr. Martins is looking for some clarification as to the purpose for not reconvening after executive session.
Because at that point, if it takes us an hour to go over our business, I don't think there's anything that important to come back out with. But these fine gentlemen that are out here can go home. The security guard can go home. We don't have to keep anybody waiting in the public. We'll do our business as is legal, and then we won't reconvene, and end of that story.
I can't agree with the reasoning. Security guard is getting overtime, so I'm sure that he could use the funds, and the people operating the electronics, either receiving a stipend or as part of their job to do so. So I will not support this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Martins. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll for executive session, please, with the amendment that the committee will not reconvene?
Mr. Agia?
Yes.
Mr. Coogan?
Yes.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. Hetzler?
Yes.
Mr. Corey?
Yes.
Mr. Martins? Mayor Carell.
This committee will stand in recess for executive session.